Hey everybody, this is Throbby with Large Lads, and today we're going to do a video that actually I've been meaning to do for 7 or 8 days now, but we're finally getting around to it. It is my top 5 games that I'm anticipating the most coming out in 2026. So everything on this list is going to be games that are scheduled to come out in 2026 or are kind of hinted at coming out in 2026. We're going to try to avoid anything that is going to get delayed out of 2026, not going to come out 2026, or like is a long stretch to come out 2026. So we're going to leave things like the Elder Scrolls aren't going to be on this list. Potentially The Witcher might not be on this list. I'm actually recording this part before I actually do the video, so there'll be a cut here. I'm pretty sure The Witcher is not coming out in 2026. Games like that we're going to try to avoid, but then there's other games that we're definitely going to have on here, and I can't wait to share them with you, and you guys can kind of see what we're going to play and probably even review this year. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right into the list and probably have a couple little announcements before the list starts, but let's get after it. And I promised that we would have one additional cut in here. Obviously, this is just my list. There's lots of games that I'm anticipating. These are just the ones that I'm anticipating the most. You'll see some games that are really anticipated aren't going to be on here. I just don't really care about them as much. Games like, spoiler alert, sorry, GTA 6. Cool, I'm probably going to play it. Is it my most anticipated? Not really. And then the real thing that I'm actually kind of anticipating the most, but it kind of would seem unfair to throw it on the list, is our game, Winter Reach Emporium. And Winter Reach Emporium is a fantasy manager of a ski shop, and you're on top of a mountain. It takes place in our fantasy world. If you love management games, we're doing all of the management things that you know and love. Weather systems, deliveries, selling, researching, racial reputations with the different fantasy races. We're pulling out all the stops. It's in the description. Go wishlist it. Support the game if you support the channel. Also, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump into the video, and I'm going to stop wasting your time now, okay? Alright, first on the list, and you guys have seen me talk about this multiple times, I've made multiple videos about this, and we're going to start with The Blood of Dawnwalker. The first thing that I thought when I saw this is that this is a CD Projekt Red game. Turns out, it's made by Rebel Wolves, and it's a newer studio made up of ex-CD Projekt Red devs, The Witcher 3 people, in case you didn't know. From everything I've seen and heard so far, this game is a awesome-looking dark fantasy action RPG with a heavy focus on narrative choice, morally messy decisions, and a world that actually reacts to how you play. There's a day-night cycle where by day, you're a little bit more of a human being, and then at nighttime, all of your vampire powers kind of explode. The tone does a lot of work here. This isn't really a colorful fantasy. It's super grim, super hardcore Eastern European, very Witcher style. I mean, it looks so much like Witcher every time I see it. Gameplay-wise, all of the devs have been talking about is the strong focus on player choice, the story-first RPG. It's not a checklist. There's a 30-day timer, so you have to do everything you can in this 30-day timer, and you're going to miss a lot of content. So it almost has not necessarily like a roguelike element, but you're supposed to replay it multiple times and get all of the content, because you can't get all of the content in one go. That's kind of how it's meant to be played. They've also hinted that the game is structured around meaningful consequences, not just binary good or bad, evil stuff. More like you made this practical choice, so now you have to live with it. So I hope that all of these things can actually land the way that they're saying they will. And if they do, this could be the game of the year, actually. So excited for this. It's projected to be released in 2026 is all we know. Summer's Games Fest, I think, is the second quarter. It's in June, I believe. So I'm thinking we could see a third quarter and potentially as far as a fourth quarter. This probably is one of the games that could be actually pushed back out of 2026. But they've been really adamant that it's coming out in 2026. So I'm going to be adamant that it's coming out in 2026. If it doesn't, it's not my fault. That's just not on me. And generally speaking, I would say I hope they take their time. Obviously, with Cyberpunk, there was lots of release issues, but the gameplay that I've seen so far looks really good. So I'm not really sure how much additional time that they need to really make and polish this game up. I'm sure there's lots of stuff that they're still doing, but the way that their marketing looks, they're already kind of not already kind of hitting. They're in their marketing spins right now. So the game is probably at most, would be my guess. This is just a guess from a guy who doesn't know anything, is they're probably like 6 months away from actually having the finished, complete, polished game. So I would imagine that we wouldn't see any delays, and I feel pretty confident putting this here. So this is our first game on the list, is Blood of Dawnwalker. Looks great to me. I can't wait for it. All right, up next on the list is Crimson Desert. Okay, so Crimson Desert has been shown. It's already been delayed. They've reshaped it, re-explained it, but somehow it looks impressive, almost unbelievably impressive every time I see it. Okay, this is developed by Pearl Abyss, the studio behind Black Desert Online. And just for transparency, I have not played Black Desert Online. I'm not a big MMO fan, maybe aside from I liked ESO, but probably only because it's in the Elder Scrolls universe. But the game looks fantastic regardless. It's important to note that it looks unbelievably good, and it kind of has everybody a little bit nervous. Originally, Crimson Desert was pitched as an MMO, then it wasn't, then it kind of was, and then now it's positioned as a single-player, narrative-driven, open-world action RPG with optional online elements, so there's not really that full MMO baggage. I hate the grindiness of an MMO, so I love that this is like a single-player RPG with online functionality. That's like the optimal game for me. And that being said, that shift is probably the best thing that could have happened for me. I didn't want it to be an MMO. I like the single player with online. That's perfect for an RPG. Every trailer just shows absurd production value. I've seen fight trailers. I probably have some on the screen right now. It looks awesome. The combat is flashy. There's climbing, grappling, environmental interactions, huge battles, weather systems. I mean, everything looks cool. The world looks super cool. Pearl Abyss is incredible at tech, animations, physics, visuals. Everything's top tier. I think the one issue that we could see is, what is the depth of this RPG going to be? Is it a visual spectacle, or is it actually going to be a really good RPG? So those are two totally different things. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think if the story's not super deep, that this is a total flop. If the world is fun to explore and there's all of this awesome visuals, it actually can still be a really good game. I think that's something that a lot of people, in my opinion, get wrong. There's a lot of fun in just exploring a good-looking world. As long as, there's good environmental storytelling. The main story, the RPG elements, there doesn't even have to be like deep narrative decision making. It can be fairly linear as far as like decision making goes, as long as there's enough content to keep me engaged. So the game is supposed to be story driven. There is a defined protagonist. I typically like to make a character, but hey, it's not that big of a deal. The world is meant to feel reactive, not just big. But we haven't really seen anything raw and unedited. All of the gameplay is very produced, but I don't know. That being said, it has been delayed already. Okay, it's supposed to come out in March. I'm pretty positive it'll come out 2026. What, March is like the third month? I don't really know my months like that. Sorry, guys. But so it's supposed to come out in March. Even if it gets delayed again, I doubt they would delay it outside of 2026. If Crimson Desert lands and actually has a deep, fleshed out storyline, decision making, and a good narrative world, like, this is a game that could be like decade defining. But all my eggs aren't in this basket. I got my eggs around in multiple different baskets. This basket's got a few more eggs than most baskets though, so I'll say that. With that being said, that's Crimson Desert Online. Oh, not online, sorry, just Crimson Desert. Teehee. Okay, high risk, high reward, massive swing. If this thing's awesome, let's do it, okay? Because I'm excited. All right, up next is Slay the Spire 2. So I haven't been huge into this game, but our team here, they love it. Okay, Slay the Spire 2 is terrifying. It ruined people's lives. The first one did. It is addictive. This one is made by Megacrit, the same devs who made the original, which is obviously a big relief. There's no outsourcing, no weird reboot energy. This is just a straight up sequel by the people who actually understand why the first game worked. Here's the thing to understand. Slay the Spire, the original, is basically perfect. It's one of those games where they didn't really need a second one. It's one of those games where any change risks breaking the balance, the pacing, or the magic of one more run. Let me see if I can get this perfect. So when they announced the sequel, the original kind of question is, why make a sequel? I mean, it's perfect. From what they've shown and said so far, the answer seems to be they're trying to expand on the first one, not reinvent it, which is good. There's new characters, new card mechanics, a new art style that's cleaner, but it's still super recognizable. Systems that add complexity without turning it into spreadsheet hell is good. They've also been really clear they don't want Slay the Spire 2 to feel bloated. It's still run-based, it's still readable, you still have to make smart decisions and plan out your run. It's just deeper if you want to go deep. As for release timing, early access is planned for 2025, but the full release was landing in 2026, and that's what most people were expecting. And honestly, the early access makes sense. The community around Slay the Spire is insane, so the best way is to let balance feedback, modders, theory crafters, everybody get involved and just do this large crowd stress test. But I'm really excited. I think everybody's worried that the game might feel a little bit too safe, just a little bit more cards, a little bit more numbers, but the same game. So preferably, maybe we don't want to pay for just a, Slay the Spire 1.5. That would be the concern. But even if it hits 90% as hard as the original, it's going to dominate Steam charts, YouTube, Twitch, everything for a few months. It's really good looking. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I never got into really Slay the Spire 1 that much, but I'm excited to get into 2. All right, and when talking about eggs in baskets, I mean, there's like half an egg in this basket, and it's Fable. Okay, so Fable is one of those games everybody played. Fable the original, Fable 2. We enjoyed them, but the franchise has kind of flopped since, right? This is a full reboot. It's being developed by Playground Games, the same people who made Forza Horizon, and it looks really good, but they don't have that RPG pedigree. They're really good at building worlds, tone, atmosphere, making things look good, but I'm worried about the raw RPG systems of Fable. But I'm still excited because I'm just so nostalgic about this franchise. Fable lives and dies on the vibe. It's not just a fantasy or choices. It has a charm, a humor, some kind of weirdness, moral consequences that are half serious, half joking. You kick chickens, people remember you, the world reacts in different unhinged ways. My biggest fear, and it's actually kind of a rumor, is that this Fable is just going to be a really safe, straightforward, get the train back onto the tracks, and that might be okay, but I really liked Fable 2. I know a lot of people enjoyed Fable the most, the original Fable, but I love Fable 2 so much, and I just want them to be ambitious. Give me a big, ambitious game. Don't give me the safe, well, we gotta make sure Fable's okay. Be ambitious, that's what made it so good. Make the tone funny, weird, self-aware. That's what we're looking for. If you're a fan of Fable, this could be really good. So it is going to be third-person, combat-focused. It's not turn-based. They're still saying choices and consequences are the core identity. Everybody's saying that nowadays. Let's hope they mean it. It's not a Souls-like. Thank God, okay? Because I wouldn't have been shocked if they just threw a Souls-like coat of paint on it, okay? Now, there's also pretty credible reports that veteran RPG devs were brought in later in development to help shore up systems, and that kind of shows that Microsoft really wants this to land and not just look good. As for release timing, it's still super vague. All of the insider chatter is saying it's going to be coming out in 2026. So it's worth putting on this list. I'm excited. Like I said, I've got one egg in the basket. A single egg. And it's an old egg. It's a really old egg. So keep your cautious optimism high here. But I am hopeful. If they return it, this would be so good. Okay? Be hopeful, but be optimistic. Or pessimistic. I don't know. Hey. All right, and this one I'm going to try to do kind of quick. It's the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake. So the issue with Black Flag is that Ubisoft makes it. Ubisoft might be one of the worst companies in gaming, but we're going to push it because I loved Black Flag, the original. I know this is kind of like, oh, it's a new game. It's not really a new game, okay? I loved it. The ship combat was awesome. Put it on a modern engine, make it look pretty again. I can't wait to play it, okay? Internal leaks, everybody's pointed 2026. Earlier would be surprising. Later wouldn't really shock anyone. Ubisoft doesn't really know how to manage anything. But we're really early in the year, and the game's already made. We just gotta, remake it. That's it. I don't know. That's it. It should be pretty easy. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into this. If you like pirated games, or if you just like Assassin's Creed games, this should be high on your list. All right, everybody. That's really it. Those are the games that I'm looking the most forward to. Let me know in the comments what you're looking the most forward to. If you made it this far and you didn't click off because of my disgusting looking background, don't worry. It's normally a little bit more tidy. But, this dog's just going crazy. I'm cleaning stuff up, so picked it all up off the floor and threw it on the sofa. She doesn't care much. But if you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what games you're anticipating. If you're a follower and a fan of the channel, let me know what kind of videos you want to see more of. All right. Thanks, everybody.